Okay, so one thing I quite like to do is to compose on mute, and that does a few things. One, it helps me improve my sight singing. If I'm writing down an interval of a fifth in my notation, then it forces me to kind of recall what that would sound like instead of constantly reminding on the computer to tell me what those two notes sound like. And then when I play it a bit later, it's a good test to see if it sounds like what I thought it did in my head. Sometimes you'll find little bits where you're like, I had that interval wrong. And then you realize that you need to work on your minor sixth interval or something. Another thing it does as well is it's just a different approach to composing. So sometimes I'll get a melody in my head and I'll run with that and I'll develop that idea. This way it kind of just forces you to do something different, and often by doing something doing like a different process, you end up coming up with different ideas and different styles and that kind of thing. So this approach forces us to kind of just apply our music theory knowledge, and it should work on paper. And then after we've created, a start or part of a piece, then we can hit play and apply our ear to it, see what sounded good, see if maybe if we just extend that interval, or this would sound better up two notes, something like that. So we're going to come up with, again, a really simple idea, and then kind of see how it sounds. We're going to apply compositional devices, and on paper it should work. It might not, but we'll see. So, I always compose in A minor, so I should probably get more familiar with other keys. I should get really good with one and end up kind of being kind of lost in other keys and just not used to the scale degrees of them. So I do like composing in minor, so we'll do F minor. And for those who still struggle to find the key, remember in flats to find the major, it's just the second last flat. So A flat here, so it's A flat major. And to figure out what minor key that is, you can just go down a minor third from A flat. And we end up at F. And that means that, so this A flat becomes the middle of the minor chord for the relative minor. Or you could go up the scale to 6. Scale degree 6 is always the relative minor. So we're in F minor. So I want a really simple idea. So obviously steps are simple. So we'll do a step up, and then kind of like Bach, where if you're if you leap in one direction, you want to step down. So if we step in this direction or leap down, or we'll just chuck it down to it, I don't know, C. Okay, so there, and 3 notes. It's enough, but we maybe want to extend it a bit more to make it a bit more interesting. So we could just repeat the first fragment again. And I like to think of it, when I'm coming up with an idea, breaking it up into fragments. So if we have this step as X and this leap as Y, then effectively we've got X, we have Y, and then we've got kind of an inverted Y with interval manipulation. But really it's just X, Y, and then X again. But as we can see, this is pretty boring rhythmically again, so maybe we could, we'll fit it into one bar, and maybe we'll use some like syncopation. So we'll go to, so if we maybe quavers down to the C, I think it was. Maybe we'll do some syncopation here, and it should help us fit it into the bar. And if we add that, I think that's all of it. We can delete that one. So now we have all 5 notes, and we fit it into one bar. So this instantly, just by looking at it, we know it looks more interesting than 5 crotchets, so that's cool. And when you get an idea, we want to make some value out of it, so let's copy and paste for days. But remember, I like to do a kind of 3 and 1. So repeat something 3 times and then do something different on the 4th. The 4th, like, it often doesn't really matter what you do on the 4th one. It's often just kind of any point of variety. I mean, obviously you can put some thought into it, but for now we'll keep it simple. So we've got an X idea here. So let's just do an augmented X. Augmented just means kind of making each note value longer. So you could double it or quadruple it. So X, we'll just go minim. And we're doing a inverted X. So there we go. And now we have 4 bars pretty efficiently. So let's make that 8 bars. Cool, we've got 8 bars. Good job. So this should kind of work. And once we hit play and apply our ear to it, we might think actually this will work better if it goes down to the D flat, not the C, or something like that. So and actually it'll be a bit boring if we just go repetition. So let's do some really basic stuff to add variety. So we want that balance of continuity, so it all kind of fits and it feels like it belongs, but also some variety. So we can just, let's invert the X's. There we go. It's going to get rid of our ties, or reapply those. Cool. So all we've done there is inverted our X's. So we're going up a step, we go down a step, and then this bar. No, let's do something super adventurous, like push it all down one note. That was epic. Another good thing to do is if you're making little changes, it's good to make the changes before you start copying and pasting everything. So you have to go through and either redo it or edit each one. So cool. So simple idea. We've got a step and a leap. Repeat the step. Inverted the step, and we grabbed the whole thing and just hit the down button, and it moved it down. So let's unmute it and see what it sounds like. And hopefully it sounds all right, but we might need to change some stuff to it. So unmute, see how we go.